Yeah, life will test us. You know, I'm not gonna say my neighbor got misplaced, but it seemed like everything happened in divine time, and when it's time for like the runner up not to give up, like the runt, you know, I would consider myself like the underdog, the runner up, the runt. You know what I mean? Like shit would start happening around you to the point where your spirit say, you know what, like it's happening to all of us. Like how my friend just up and left the city, not the city, Jacksonville, okay, and didn't look back. At the same time, like my neighbor was being evicted, right, from his childhood home. It was like spirit or the universe was saying like, I need you to be stable because while these people actually going through problems, it's like your self-sabotage is not what we need right now. We need you to be the stable, sane one, you know? And you could be in so much peace. I'm talking about like happy in life, but you're wondering why you cast this shadow of doubt over you is because a lot of people going through something. They're going through stuff spiritually, they're going through stuff psychologically. All this is hypothetically, theoretically, allegedly. And a lot of people will hold a lot of information and they not gonna bring all their problems out. See, when you one of them type that smile and always happy, yeah, one of my friends took a picture of me and said, how could somebody be so miserable and be so happy? And I looked at him and said, alchemy, fucking alchemy. I didn't argue with him, I didn't fuss with him, I didn't ruin my dinner. But what he was doing, he was projecting his misery onto me. That's right. He was projecting his misery onto me, but it didn't work. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to just let shit be. You know what I mean? Like, how dare a person film you or video you or take a picture of you and say, how could somebody be so miserable and so happy? It's alchemy. It's alchemy. My spirit, my heart won't allow me to sink. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I've been in sunken places. That shit can hit me hard. Especially if you gambling. I might sink in a sunken place for like 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Shit, I've sunken in a sunken place for 24 hours before. But somehow, somehow, we live to fight another day. Um, and we're not even going to talk about relationships, or I don't mean like boyfriend girlfriend relationships. I mean like things that were supposed to grow to some potential, like a friendship that was supposed to grow to some type of companionship. We're not even about to get on that. That I've been on this planet 38 years, and trust and believe me, 70% of those evolving relationships have been a waste. The only ones that have not been a waste is the ones where these people have some type of skill set where we can get off of that trying to be romantic and have sex and be, you know, yeah. What skill set do you have? Can I hire you? Can I use you? You know, it's been plenty of people that just out the blue come to me and be like, look, I got this U-Haul and I need to get my car here. Like, they know, they not willing to take a risk hauling their own shit, and they know I'm a truck driver or any weird thing. They just know I'm mechanically inclined to do certain things that they're not able to do. But sometimes you could be at a level of peace that's unmatched for society. Remember, it ain't about how rich you is. It ain't about how poor you is. It ain't about your health. Some people could be paraplegics or something. And they might not be miserable at all. And somebody could look at them and judge them and say, boy, I know their life miserable. No. This person might be on high cotton. This person probably learned how to do something in the tech world nobody else learned how to do because they had time to sit down and think about it. They had time to work on it where everybody else had to hustle and bustle. This person was 3 steps ahead of people because they was financially stable. They had time to think. They ain't had to be in no rush. The universe wasn't asking too much of them. The system wasn't asking too much of them. And they had time to actually utilize what they had available. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, a person's peace can be the next man's crutch. Like my neighbor, he eventually supposed to move in with me until he get his own, what's it called? Assisted living home. And he had a thing, like I've known him since 2017. So that could be 9 years. What is 2026? I got here October. Yeah, that's almost 9 years. Okay. He had a thing where if I was in the living room, look, this could be anywhere. I didn't start off at this house. I was in an RV. I started off, a few doors down. And we're going to skip that part. We're just going to go to this part, the house. Because when he was over there, I had nowhere to, space out. There was really no space to do nothing. Okay. But here, I was in a position where I could do my work, my tarot readings, and any other work I was doing on the side. And we don't date, we don't go together, we're not sexually involved. And he would say, come to bed, like this level of aggression. And I'd be like, why are you saying that while I'm doing a tarot reading on the phone? Like when I was in my shop, he would knock on the door and be like, when you going to bed? Dude, you're a grown man. If you sleepy, close your eyes like that, right? So this time he couldn't run, He, like I say, he got evicted out of his childhood home. He couldn't run. And I said, you've been doing this for 8 years. I said, a man, if he's sleepy, he go to bed. He don't force the woman to go to bed. I said, you said that you wanted to be a tenant or a roommate or whatever. I said, you might not need to give your money to me when it's time for you to start giving your money to me, because you haven't learned to go to bed. You haven't learned to be by yourself. Like, I could be up chilling 4 o'clock in the morning and he getting loud and getting an attitude. Like, I have to go to bed when he go to bed. No. You're my friend. True enough. We get along like 2 peas in a pod. But if you need to go to bed or you're sleepy, you don't need to fight it. You need to go to bed. So last night was his biggest challenge ever. See, my house got AC. And, it could cool down. And where he was going, it ain't no AC. And I said, you sure you want to start being my roommate? He wouldn't be no roommate. He would be his own household. He would not be my roommate. Roommates is people who can't afford to pay their bills. So they become roommates. I looked at him and I said, are you sure you wanna invest in living here? Because you got to be able to go to bed. You're gonna have to be able to go to your room and watch your own TV. I said, it'll be nights that I come in the house at 8 o'clock at night and I'm gonna have to go straight to bed to get up 4 o'clock in the morning. I said, you're that aggressiveness, you trying to handle me? I said, there would be no way for me to kick you out. I said, if you're paying rent, I can't kick you out. So you're going to have to get that together. You're going to have to get that together before I accept your money. So he left mad. And he did the most unexpected thing, y'all. He showed back up. And he went to his future room. And he went to bed. He didn't bother me no more. He didn't say nothing. The house was at peace. Like he walked out the house to go drop that demon off, that spirit off. That his spirit buddy, his drinking buddy. He dropped that demon off somewhere and came back. Because he could have went back the way he was supposed to go. He only had to go 2 houses. Oh. But he got his pride together. He came back. And he said, can you turn my TV on? I'm ready to go to bed. I said, okay. So I folded his blankets back and cut his TV on. And I ain't hear nothing else from him the whole night. And it was really a peaceful thing because I had so much slob. I don't slob like that. I had so much slob on my pillow. Not my pillow, but my blanket. Because it's complicated how I sleep, okay? I use the blanket as my pillow. Because I just want something under my neck. I don't want... Pillows ain't designed right. Well, anyway. I woke up, I had so much slob on my blanket. I didn't know what it was. I kept saying, is it a bottle? Is it a bottle in bed? Did I have a water bottle in bed? So I had to throw that end of the blanket somewhere else because it was cold. But yeah, it was it was like something was telling me, baby, you got to be the strength right now. We tired of you running. We tired of you walking away. We tired of you going on vacation 2 years. We need you to just settle down and be the strength. See, because spirit and the universe know I done calculated the weapons. You know what I mean? Spirit know I done calculated the neighborhood weapons. And they know that I know what's going on. But they humbled me down and said, baby, I told you, whenever you need to call on that stealth equipment in the sky, it's available to you. You ain't got to run. You ain't got to hide. We don't need you going in the woods. We need you to be right here. Because if you ever feel like something ain't right, or if we ever feel like a motherfucker using silent weapons for quiet wars on you, you have something in the sky that you could call down. And we're not talking about God. We're not talking about angels. We're talking about stealth, ancient technology that will beam down on the situation. So, but when I was up north, I knew I had to come back anyway, because when my friend went to the hospital and he had to go back like 2 or 3 times for surgery, you know, that ain't normal. You know, even though we fuss and argue and I have any man I want around, I still have a level of compassion for him. And truth be told, people can heal. They strong enough to heal, but they need a support system. You know what I mean? And it's not like he trying to drain me or be the victim. Some people genuinely need support. And it was time for me to come back home. You know, I was on vacation long enough. It was time for me to come back home. Because things started getting a little weird, you know. And lo and behold, during his healing journey, they get evicted. He didn't even have to leave. He could have made them folks do a real eviction. They've been in their house for a long time. Since he was like 16, 15 years old, 10th grade. But, you know, let him tell it. He didn't have no business being there, which that's a lie. You know, he was supposed to prolong it, but he said he didn't want to prolong it. Now that he knew he could live with me, he didn't want to prolong. He wanted to get it out the way. He wanted to get over the memories of the house. He didn't want to fight it. He let it go. But yes, Mr. Nice Nasty Little Sassy. Look, Mr. Nice Nasty Little Sassy. That's what I call him, Little Sassy, honey. He walked off last night, and me and my other neighbor was saying, what's up with that cat? I said I told him to go to bed. He ain't missing nothing. He ain't missing nothing. Go to bed. Now, I'ma leave. I said, well, look, if you can't go sit your ass down while it's free, I refuse to take your money when it's time for you to pay me to live here. Because you going to give me problems. I said, I'm not going to be locked up in my room and can't sit in my living room now. I said, you need to go to your room and watch TV and go to bed. Because, see, I called him 6 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning, and we went to Walmart. We ran errands. We started running errands 6 o'clock in the morning. So here you in your 70s, and you done drunk 6 beers. And it's fucking 10 o'clock at night. When do you expect to take a nap? When do you expect to go to sleep? Your body gotta heal. You done went through 3 operations, 3 surgeries. You gotta go to bed, man. But I'm gonna tell you something. That man went to bed and never woke back up. And then I tried to sneak back there to check on him. The damn floor was creaking. And as soon as the floor started creaking, he said, "That's you? I'm about to get up." I said, go back to bed. Go on back to bed. I ain't even finished walking. Turned around and went back. And he didn't get out of bed either. He's still in bed, bless his heart. I don't know, I do have a motherly side, but I would cuss a motherfucker out. It ain't hard for me to cuss a motherfucker out. You know what I mean? But the only place I don't cuss if it's the workplace. You know what I mean? That's one kissing ass place. But outside the workplace, I'm the sailor. I am the fucking sailor. Okay? But yeah, I'm shocked he didn't. But see, that's the whole lesson for last night is to say, where are you gonna run to? Okay, we gonna argue, we gonna fuss, but where are you running to? What are you doing? You know? Well, what is this? You know what I mean? And he know I had company. He been around long enough to know she gonna hang around people her age, or she gonna hang around people she meet, or you know, he know. Yep, he know. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing, boy. My neighbor, we cooked that food together. I chopped up all the veggies. He browned the meat and seasoned it. It was a process. I I told him, I say, now wash them eggs, because I was drinking. Once I'm drinking, I ain't doing too much. But he a foodie, so he passionate about eating. And we cleaned out the refrigerator, and we knew not to throw nothing away of value that wasn't spoiled, so we used it. And I said, if you bring me the chopping block, yes, my hands were clean. And I said, if you get the chopping block and bring me the onions and all the peppers, and I said, if you wash these eggplants off and just stick them in the oven, don't wrap them up, don't do nothing, just stick them in the oven on 350. I said, now put that rice in the rice cooker. My mama showed him how to put the rice in the rice cooker. So now he know how to he love rice. Now he know how to put the rice in the rice cooker. You ain't got to tell him nothing. He just say, how much rice? How much rice? As much as you gonna eat, buddy. You the rice lover. As much as you gonna eat. Man, them eggplants, that rice was cooking, them eggplants was in the oven. Whole. You just stick them in the oven. Don't put no oil on them. Don't do nothing. Just let them cook for about an hour or an hour and a half. I chopped up all them vegetables. He browned up all that meat, that turkey meat, and that hamburger meat. It looked good. Whenever I brown turkey meat, it be all stuck together. He had it all looking like ground beef. He had the onion in there, and I said, we're not gonna put the bell peppers and cabbage or nothing in there until the meat done. So that's when I got up and help them fold everything in there together. And I said, we need a base. We need a base. So I got the V8 juice, the tomato juice, and made a base. It made me think about having stuffed cabbage leaves with ground beef when I put that tomato juice on there. Yeah, it was fun. And no, we didn't take the grease out of it because he eats so much rice. I needed some type of oil in my shit. I ain't about to have no dry ass rice. And we let it simmer, and he warmed up the leftover chicken and got his rice and put his little stuff together and fixed my friend a plate, and it was just quiet and peaceful. It was just too quiet, too peaceful. And finally, believe it or not, I had to put people to bed and I had to kick folks out. People swear they be ready to go home. They don't be ready to go home. Eventually, I had to kick them motherfuckers out. They be saying they ready to go, but they ain't never leave. Mm-hmm. Y'all pray for me. I'm gonna have to, well, I don't really want y'all to pray for me, but just know I'm dealing with a person who been in their house for 70 years and now they out of it. So I don't want them bringing no type of ill will energy, no, I don't want them bringing no type of toxic energy. But whatever he did when he went outside for them 15 minutes, and I thought he was going to where he lived, he came back and he went to bed. I swear to God, he said, come turn the TV on for me. And I didn't hear no more from him. And he's still in bed. He ain't got out of bed yet. It's a peaceful thing. Well, anyway, I gotta get my butt up. It's time to go to work. Oh, and my friend will be here. I'm her godmama daughter. We don't say it too much, but she bringing my goddaughter. We all got pregnant at the same time. We was 18. Ain't that so? None of us got pregnant. None of my circle got pregnant at 16, 17. We all got pregnant at 18 at the same time. But I like to die, so I wasn't able to go to full term or nothing. And my other two friends, they were successful. They got grown, graduated children now. And then my brother waited till he was 24 before he started having children. Yeah. Cause we was some hot little things. We was in them streets, honey. I always had a party house. Mm-hmm. At 15 years old, I had a party house. Full-size pool table, paid for, with repetition. Meaning the balls roll down. I had a 3-bedroom house. It was paid for. I didn't pay rent. I didn't pay rent at 15 years old. Had the 15 speakers. My mom came and got me when I was 18 and said, you know what she did was, she tricked me. She said, I need you to go to Tillinghurst to get your GED, but Tillinghurst was too slow. So at 18 or 16, I don't remember the actual age, she put me in a college environment. So you was able to go to college and get your GED. Now, as much cocaine as I did, I didn't know a GED was that easy, okay? So my mom got me in a college environment to get my GED. The lady did an assessment paper on me when I first got there. I went up there for 3 days. The lady pulled me to the side and said, "Ma'am, you have no business being in here. I need you to go take that GED test." I looked at her. You know, I'm at college. I looked at her. I said, "You sure?" She said, "Yes, ma'am. I need you to just go take the test. You you don't need to be in here." So I went and took the test and I got my diploma. I didn't know it was that easy. I could have took the GED in 5th grade. Yeah, that test was easy. And then finally, when I got 18, my mom kept saying, "You really don't want to go to school, do you? You 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 just refuse to go to school, don't you?" So she said, "Look, I need you to I need you to go up there to that college and enroll." She said, "I don't owe nobody." I was able to get GI Bill. Oh, I was balling. This is another level of balling. I was able to get GI Bill. I was able to get the Hope Grant, and I was able to get Pell Grant. So what had happened was I did the business side of it first. Finally, about a year or two, my mom was looking at my books and my paperwork, and she said, "What is this?" I said, "What you mean?" She said, "This not the right math. This not the right English." I said, "What you mean it's not the right math? It's not right." She said, "Where's your English 101? Where's your math 101? She said, "You're not taking diploma courses." See, I was getting the Pell Grant and I was getting GI Bill. I didn't know it was a difference between business certificates and diplomas. So they had to transfer, about that 3rd year, they had to transfer all the credits they could transfer over to the diploma side. So I done went to school and did all the business math, all the business English. Then I had to go back to school and do all the diploma math and all the diploma English. But I was getting paid, so it didn't matter anyway. I was getting paid to go to school. So I was getting $800 a month for GI Bill. Plus I was getting a $1,500 check every quarter. Then when I went to the diploma side, the Pell Grant dropped and I was getting monthly subsidies. Everything was free. And because my mom kept saying, "I don't owe nobody. I didn't, I don't owe nobody in school." Because a lot of people, I didn't know that if their parents took a loan out, they had to go to school. They couldn't go to school for free. So she made that clear that she didn't owe no school loans, so I could go to school for free, and I was wasting my time. But let me tell you this one story. So I'm up there at the college with my shades on, because I used to wear shades back then, aviators. And I had the biggest, I had the biggest, I had the biggest ball. I had a 3.5 in my titty. And I'm in there. I'm thinking you just sign up somewhere and you come back. No. You sign up, then you go in another computer lab room and you do some more shit. And then you pick out your classes and then you go talk to a counselor. Listen to me. I think them old white women used to get high or something. I'm in there. The white lady came up to me and she put her hand on my shoulder and said, I was high as a kite. She put her hand on my shoulder and said, "Baby, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right." And I looked at her. See, I was just high. Shit, I didn't know nobody could see I was high. But it was like an angel came from that lady to remind me, this just the first phase. You gonna get through it. I would say, oh, and another thing, I was doing 3D meshes. I was building my own 3D meshes, my own 3D renders. So I was bringing home another $2,000 a month. And this guy used to come to my house and said, "Sky, where do you get all this money?" And then I took him online and I showed him how I was cashing out this 3D currency. Like I was cashing out fake money for real money. Yep. Back then. Yeah, I was on Second Life. I was building Second Life stuff. I was building IMVU stuff. And I was highly successful. But after a while, I grew out of it. Once I started driving truck. But yeah, it's just a story like, don't give up. Don't give up. But the key thing, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you the rule of thumb with this situation. When I got high, or to initiate, like if I want to go buy some, I didn't nickel and dime. You know how, let's say you smoke weed, but you probably buy a nickel bag or a dime, or now they do apes. You know, once you get to California, you buy apes and shit, right? No, baby. I had a rule where you don't get high on your own supply, or if you're gonna get high, you make sure that you can supply yourself. So if you could read between the lines, you understand what I'm saying. I ain't gonna just be no consumer, okay? So I was just the type, I had to put my friends on to game. My friend would come around when she found I do what I do. She'll come around with this little 20 bag or whatever. And I say, "What is this?" She said, "Girl, this is what I got." I said, "No, ma'am. If it was good quality," I said, "I only get my stuff bricked up and fish scale." I made it clear to her. And I said, "I don't buy 20s. What is this?" So she took me to like 5 of her friends. And none of them had bricks. So finally, she said, "Oh, I see what type you like." So it dawned on her she knew somebody with the bricks. Okay. So she took me to the guy with the brick, and I told her, "This how I do it." And ever since I taught her how to do it, she ain't never went back to that fourth party, fifth party type shit. I don't do fourth party, fifth party type shit. And I was so astonished because I would say within 6 months, she would come to my house with a whole ball. I'm like, "Bitch, what?" Because I told her, "I'm not getting high with you, bitch. Is you crazy? Who gonna do that little bitty thing?" Well, anyway, I'm just keeping it real. That shit is, I was a teenager. I'm 38 years old now. You understand? But I had to train them hoes. What is this? We don't even know what this is. We want the shit that came straight out the goddamn brick, bitch. I don't do that. What is that? That came from a fourth party, fifth party. That ain't even third party. That ain't even middleman. What is that? Girl, I ain't about to do that. And I would pull out my brick. I mean, serious, okay? Serious. Seriously. I was the, I, shit. I was the one, honey. But I'm different now. I ain't gonna tell you. One day if I find the right secure moment, I ain't no telling what I'm capable of, but I do know one thing. You're gonna have your trials, you're gonna have your tribulations. Don't give up. Don't give up. And you have to be patient with people. You know, I'll never get over that cat, that kitten kept trying to lash out at the cat. The kitten didn't feel safe, was a victim, and the cat just slowly kept, moving in on the kitten until the kitten finally stopped hissing and found out it was safe. You know what I mean? Because right there in front of my other neighbor, we had to sit my other neighbor down and say, listen, you've been running for 8 years. You ain't got a place to run to now, so I'm trying not to cuss you out. It ain't gonna benefit me to cuss you out. It ain't gonna benefit me to call you bitches hoes, and it ain't gonna benefit me right now. We gotta psychologically see if you can be your own head of household within my household. Okay? When a person move in with you, they don't live with you. They their own head of household. So I said, man, you gonna have to figure it out. You ain't got nowhere to run to. I said, when you hand me that money, where you gonna go? You got to learn where your bedroom at. I'm trying to teach you while it's free. I'm trying to teach you where your bedroom at while it's free, man. Because when I take that money, you're not getting it back, and you ain't got nowhere else to go. So what you gonna do? I'm priming him up. And the only reason why he don't live here right now is because I got guests coming. And I didn't want, I told him he gotta wait. But after that, it's gonna be all right. Well, y'all, that was a pledge. I needed to get that off my chest. I really needed to get that off my chest. I slept like a baby. I mean, I slobbed my ass off. He still asleep. I'm proud. I'm so proud, y'all. And don't get me wrong, I'm not high and mighty. I could use the money, but I can't use the stress. I done turned down so much money from men in my life. I'm not gonna do it. That's the same thing when I was surreal on cocaine. See, this the difference. You got girls that woke up in the morning and said, I'm gonna go find a man that's do it, or I'm gonna go try to date the plug, or the fourth man, or the fifth man, because they damn sure ain't the middle man. I woke up in the morning young and said, I worked, but I didn't always work. So I woke up in the morning and said, I gotta pay my light bill, I gotta pay my internet bill. I was probably the only person in the neighborhood with internet and a cell phone. Because see, back then, I used to have to answer the phone for my mom dealing with real estate back then. So on the weekend, she would give me her beeper and her Nokia and say, hey, write down everybody's name and number that call you, and I'll call them back Monday. So that's what I did. So she put me on the business mindset early. So I was the only one with a beeper and a cell phone as a teenager. But these girls would wake up and try to figure out how to get a sack. No. After me partying 32 hours, I woke up making sure that my bills was paid and that I was strong enough to function that week. Then I had other friends. They'll stop by and they'll be pulling sacks out their titties and stuff. I said, girl, you went to work high? Oh, no. You know what I mean? It's only so many times I could go to work high. I can't go to work high. That shit ain't gonna work. You know, normal jobs. No, it wasn't. I couldn't do it. I couldn't focus. That's a me time thing. You know, turn the lights off, turn the music on, and let's vibe. But yeah, they would get up and they would have relationships with men that snort. I said, girl, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be around a man that do drugs. And it didn't dawn on them. It didn't dawn on them. It probably took them about 2-3 years to realize it. And one girl finally pulled me to the side and said, he's sober, ain't he? I said, yeah, he's sober. How the hell he's supposed to give me money if he doing drugs? I said, why would you want to be around a man that worked to get high? Is you crazy, bitch? You could go out in the street and party with him, but you don't take him home with you, crazy ass bitch. You get you a sober working man. I'm telling you, I had to train these hoes. A man that did cocaine could not come to my house unless he was a school teacher, in the military, or the sheriff. I'm not lying to you. I'm not even about to play games with you. That motherfucker had to have something to lose. Or he had to work at something like the Foundry or Affleck. Like, he had to work somewhere where that man had a reputation. I did not allow men around me that did drugs that were street niggas. Now, if I go to your house, bitch, and he over there, that's fine. But y'all can't come to my house. I had something to lose. And then I was underage. No. Yeah, so that's life. I'm about to get out of here, y'all. Maybe one day it'll click, you know. Don't judge me too fast. Sleep on it. You know what I mean? You gotta, when you living your fast life, you gotta be around people that are structured, that are stable. And when they got time to party, they'll party. That's what I liked about it. You take a motherfucker, back then, if I could be around a nigga that made $50,000 a year, that was 20 years ago. That was 24 years ago. And if I found a nigga that made $50,000 back then, I had hit the gold mine. And when that person finally, they probably worked a whole month, 3 months, but finally they think about little old Sky and they come around and break bread too. I mean, literally break bread. Not just one. I had a good little rotation. Not just one. I had a good ass rotation going on. And the girls, they finally got it. No, we don't want Scooter over here. No, we don't want BJ down the street over here. Girl, you must don't know we're in a military town. The second, third biggest infantry in the world. Bitch, why is you hanging out with Scooter and BJ and them? It's just fake names. But why is you hanging out with them? Girl, let's go to the north side and go to this bar and relax and meet some men of quality, of stature or something. I didn't understand them. They wanted to hang out with the little thugs in the neighborhood. Ooh, no. The first thing I asked them when the guy come around, where you work at? What you do? And if they couldn't say that, oh, girl, you got to take him somewhere else. He can't be here. No, 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 no. You got him. You got him. You exposing my insides and out of my home. I got to be around a man. When he go home, he feels safe and I feel safe. No, no. I learned early. I learned fast that they was just up to no good. Soon as you turn your back, the cigarette you got lit out the ashtray. What you mean? Where my cigarette that was in the ashtray? I'd be like, oh no, girl, y'all got to go. I ain't on that speed. I ain't on that time. No, baby. Y'all got to go. I remember this one girl. I'm thinking she smoking my cigarettes. She taking my cigarettes out the pack, walking down the street, handing people cigarettes. We fell out about it. Boy, I had to run like a track star because she was an ox. I wasn't nothing but 135 pounds. She was an ox. And she tried to beat on me, but she couldn't do it. I got up out that damn shirt and I ran and I stopped this pickup truck and I said, and I jumped on the back of that truck like an athlete. I didn't go up the back of the bed. I went on the side. And I hit the back of that truck. Go, go, go. And the man went around the corner. And then when the girl calmed down, she had ran me away from my own house. But we nipped that in the bud fast. It didn't take long for her to go to jail. Hell nah, bitch. I'm not the one. Hell nah, bitch. Once I got sober, see, she preyed on my weakness because I was busybody. And I said, look, I just bought these cigarettes an hour ago and 8 of the cigarettes gone. I was charging her $10 a day to live with me. That was $300 a month. Yep. I was charging her $10 a day. And she would bring it to me, too. And back then, Newports wasn't nothing but $4. And my mama said, if she bringing you $10 a day, why do you care that she was stealing your cigarettes? I said, Mom's the principal. Fuck them $10. Bitch, you a nuisance. And I let her be known she was a nuisance. Bitch, you a motherfucking nuisance. Up there giving away something you ain't even got. Motherfucker. So did. Let me get off here. Yep. And it was so funny. So I had transitioned. I'm about to get off here, y'all, but I'm just talking. I had transitioned to a stud. My high ass that when it cut all my hair off, my homeboy pulled up. Shake. Soon as he seen I cut off my hair off, that nigga went and took me to the motherfucking sportswear and bought me 4 dicky down outfits. I had the khaki one. I had the motherfucking black one, the blue one, the red one. And he bought me tennis shoes. I thought he was gay. I thought, man, that man see me with a wife beater on, with my haircut. Oh, and he took me to go get my hair cut right. I had shaved all my hair off in the mirror. And he took me to go get my first haircut. Look, he kind of scared me. He was more in love with me looking like a stud than he did when I looked like a female. That man literally, I didn't come back home for 2-3 days. That man went and took me shopping and got my whole wardrobe right. He wouldn't even do that for me as a female. He never took me shopping. I cut my hair off and was walking around with that wife beat on with them little titties. That man went and took me shopping, bought me shoes, bought me packs of wife beaters, dicky pants, I wore a 30-32. Absolutely. I'll never forget my size, D. I wore a 30-32. And the only reason why I got a 30 is because the pants was directly on my my pelvic bone. I had to have a little sag. You know you can't have no skinny shit on. You gotta have a little pinch of a sag over your booty. So that's the only reason why I got a 30. Otherwise I would have got a 28. But yes, honey. 30-32. I'll never forget it. Yeah, some weird times. Some weird times. That was when Dodge, uh, them long body Dodges had came out. Not the Chrysler 300. The Chrysler 300 was out, just came out. And the Maverick. Boy, you talking about a Dodge Maverick back then. Nigga, you was on hot cotton. And the dude that kept pulling up, he paid for his Dodge Magnum. I said Maverick. It's a Magnum. He paid for his Dodge Magnum off the showroom floor cash. He didn't have no car note. And my mama always told me, baby, don't get the man with the car note. Get the man that ain't got no car note. The man with the car note struggling. The man that ain't got no car note, he can take you out. He can help you if you need help. And yeah, he was able to express his funds very easily because his vehicle was paid for. Well, I'm gonna get off here. I said it about 10 times. I'm gonna get off here. You done woke up? You gonna use the restroom? Okay. About to go to work.